Let's just jump right into it, right? Let's get to the first question. It comes from Valentino that says, do you think Luka is a first-team All-NBA player because he gets, well, now I'm gonna fix your verbiage here. I'm gonna fix your words in this question. He gets so much hate from ESPN, etc. They're saying Brown, Cunningham are better than him? Question mark. Now, I will say right here publicly, anybody that doesn't have Luka Doncic first team All NBA is ridiculous, just straight up ridiculous. We got to the point now where guys like Luka, where guys like Shea, hell, even guys like Jokic, they have been doing what they've been doing for so long that we kind of get bored. No, I'm sorry, not we. Not we, because they on my first team. But people start to get bored, right? We do got a cool story of Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons being the 1 seed. We do got a cool story of Jaylen Brown not having Jason Tatum for the majority of the season and them still being one of the top teams in the league. I can understand the narrative base of all of that. The stats are the stats. So I'm like, okay, Kenny, put your money where your mouth is. What does your All-NBA teams look like? And I want to say, I'm going to preface this by saying this is a rough draft. I won't have my official, unofficial ballot for another month until the season ends. But it really made me think about All-NBA, which, again, Valentino, I appreciate. So here's my 3 All-NBA teams as of today, March 16th, 2026. Again, a full month. And things can be revised and things might be changed the next time we talk about awards. The first team, the first 4 spots are so simple. As long as Wembanyama plays the necessary amount of games, I think he can only miss 2 or 3 more games. So we're keeping that in the back of our mind. All-NBA first team in no specific order should be Shea. It should be Luka. It should be Wemby. It should be Jokic. Those 4 are absolute locks. I can understand having Brown on your first team or Cunningham on your first team, but not at the expense of those 4 guys. It's really about this 5th spot. I spent a long time trying to figure out who I wanted on All-NBA first team. Between, again, Cade, between Anthony Edwards, Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi Leonard. These are all guys that were in running for the first team, and I ultimately gave it to Kawhi. Now, his case is a lot different than the cases of these other dudes because, as we know, the Clippers, as of today, as I record this episode, are sitting at the 8th seed. They're only 1 game above 500. You're like, Kenny, you giving an All-NBA first team spot to a guy that is on a team that is 1 game above 500? Yeah. I truly just feel like he's been one of the 5 best players in the league for, I don't know, the last 5 months of the season. That first month, he was still good, but these last 5 months or whatever, he has been one of the top 5 players. And yeah, I'm giving him the straight up nod. It is maybe on my first team. I'm thinking about the history of who I am as a person, as an unofficial voter. It might be the lowest seed, the worst record of a player that I've ever had on my first team. But that's how good Kawhi Leonard has been. Now, it does not help that they just lost to the Kings the other night. It definitely does a negative to his value as an All-NBA first-team player. But that is a guy I ultimately went with the first team, which makes the second team kind of easy, right? All the guys that were just in contention for first team, that last first team spot, slides to the second team. I'm sorry, Cade, but damn it, this is such an amazing season for you, but you do have to be on the second team alongside Anthony Edwards, Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell. And then this is where another point where the list gets kind of interesting. Because of all of the injuries we've had for the Steph Currys of the world, who undoubtedly, if he just played a full 65 games, he will be on one of these teams, and some of the other guys that have missed time, the end of this second team and the entirety of the third team, to me, is where it gets really interesting. Some of the guys that are on this list, I'm like, man, that guy's All-NBA this season. I guess. So on my second team, the last spot after Cade, Mitchell, Edwards, and Brown, I did go with Kevin Durant. It was between him, Tyrese Maxey, and Jalen Brunson for the last spot on my second team. But I went with Kevin Durant because he has still been an ultra efficient. I mean, that's one thing you can always say about Kevin Durant, right? He's always going to be efficient. An ultra efficient guy on a team that we have a question about them later down the line, so I'll save it. But a team that has been at least steady. They may not be in the same contention pool as some of the teams around them, but still steady enough to be one of the top seeds in the Western Conference. So we went with him. On the third team, I do have Maxey. I do have Brunson. I went Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren has an interesting case as a defensive anchor, one of the best in the world. And I feel like every single season there's a guy of his caliber in there. His points per game are 17, 9, and 2 assists. But he is one of the best defensive players in the entirety of the world. Yeah, entirety of the world. It's very similar to like Evan Mobley's case last season. He was the DPOY after Wembanyama went down with that blood clot. And Chet Holmgren, if it was up to me, if Wembanyama were to miss these next couple games and miss 2 to 3 games and become ineligible, I think that Chet Holmgren is one of the top names that come up next to be the winner of the DPOY. So with him being one of the best defensive players in the world, and him being one of the most important players on the best team in the league, record wise, and him still having, decent enough counting stats. He is an all NBA player for me this season on the third team. Then we get to Jalen Johnson is all NBA this season, y'all. Yeah. Shout out Jalen Johnson. He might be most improved player. I don't know how you do. I haven't thought about most improved player completely, but he might be most improved player. But also he might be all NBA for me. And then lastly, this last spot was so interesting because I was going down a list of guys that should be in the running for this one. Like James Harden. I think James Harden deserves to be in the running. Ultimately, he didn't make it. Scotty Barnes should be in the running, even if his counting stats are not what they are. But the defensive is enough for me to put him in this place. And then, like, obviously Giannis is out with his injury, so he doesn't compete. De'Aaron Fox is a guy I considered for a little bit. Alperen Sengun, even though I told y'all just last week that he was one of my most disappointed players. That's how thin the barrel is when it comes to the end of this All NBA. But ultimately, I did end up going with Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is my last All NBA guy. As of today, with a month left to potentially revise it, he has been, I'm looking at his stats right now, 25 points per game, as steady as can be. And I have to think about that week and a half, 2 week stretch, or however long it ended up being, where Nikola Jokic was out. And I came onto this show or either the other show and said, hey, man, this is a rough spot because when Jokic comes back, they might be a playing team. Jokic eventually came back, and I think they were one game above 500 in the time that he missed. Now, since then, it ain't been the greatest, but they were about one game above 500 when he left, and Jamal Murray deserves a lot of credit for that. So that's the third team. It is Maxey, it is Brunson, it is Holmgren, it is Johnson, and it is Murray. That was a tough experiment, man. And again, with a month left, I've got Kawhi on this first team. Maybe by the end of the season, it is a Cade, it is a Mitchell, it is a Edwards, it is a Brown. All of those guys are truly in contention still for me.